Again, I'm Dr. Aajay Shah. This is our happiness interactive workshop. This is segment number 13 out of 20. If you're on YouTube, please watch segment 1 to 12 in sequence, and then let's start segment number 13. Uh, Again, this brings what makes us happy. We've been discussing different things which makes us happy. We have gone through exercise, meditation, uh, uh, pranayam, social relations, and this continues on social relations and communication. So again, have top friends. So what are your top close friends or real friends? These friends are the one where you can call them or visit them anytime. You can share anything with them, including what positive things going in your life, what negative things going in your life. You can learn from each other. You can motivate each other. You can meet them 3, 4 times a week, sometimes even meet on an everyday basis. Like I remember when I was growing up in India, some friends I saw every day. This type of top 5 friends provides you longevity, provides you better health, actually provides you better survival after illness, after heart attack, after cancer, and has a less chance of depression. Actually, it's proven also that even when you just talk to a stranger, there are a higher chance of happiness. So I strongly advise all of you to talk at work, even talk at the coffee shop. If you're traveling by train or a bus, talk to a stranger. And we all have experienced that when you eat the same food together with family, with friends, the same food gives you more joy and more happiness. So how can you have a better experience with your relationship? In person is the best way. If you can meet your family member or your friends in person, either at home or outside, wherever you park or a restaurant, in person is the best way to do it. The next best way to do is a video talk or a FaceTime, where you can see each other, expressions, their smile, their eyes. Next is a video talk. The next one is just talking on the phone, which we always have done for last, 50 years. Next is texting them. Texting has become very popular in young people. I text myself every day. I prefer text actually. And then emailing. So again, it's very important that you stay in contact with various forms, but in person is the best way. There's actually a research study done where people who are lonely versus people who are making good money. Money versus being lonely. Being lonely provided more unhappiness than making money. So again, loneliness provides you more unhappiness than even having money. And even for the people who are socially introvert, social connections are very important. Again, that brings my big thank you to Laurie Santos from Yale for giving me the material for this seminar, and her course, Science of Well-Being on Coursera, a great course. I strongly advise all of you to view it. I've taken all the material from that course, and it's about 14 hours long on Coursera. I've turned that into a short course, and I added my own things also. Matter of fact, I've added half of the material in this, my seminar, is my own from reading books, and half came from her course. But again, big thank you to Laurie. Next important concept of becoming happy is activating your signature strength. So again, we all have to activate our signature strength. If you remember from my earlier explanation, what are the signature strengths? We all have 24 signature strengths, 24 are proposed, and we should be activating 5 per day. I will go through those signature strengths in a second, but we should be activating 5 per day. For example, for me, love of learning, gratitude, fairness, hope, and forgiveness are the top 5 signature strengths. I try to use 5 of them every day. I learn something new every day. I read about 200 pages every day. When you employ signature strength, you have a less chance of depression. You have a very high chance of becoming happy. It also increases your productivity. It also gives you job satisfaction. And actually, your job or your task becomes your calling when you use your signature strength. And you get more into the flow state. We'll talk about what the flow state means in a second. So again, these are my signature strength. Love of learning is my number 1. I use love of learning signature strength every day. That brings the next way of becoming happy. Learn social skills. We all need to be more social. Most of us at times are socially withdrawn with this internet, with this smartphones, with the living further distance and distance away. We all need to be more social. Also learn how to tell a good story. When you are sitting in a group, when you're sitting with friends, you should know how to tell a good story. Either it's a story about your life, a story about anything you experienced, or anything you have read. Learn how to tell a good story. And obviously have a good character. People with good character typically are happier. That again brings back to this great psychologist from Harvard, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar. Many books he has written. The book which I read is called Happier. Actually, I read two of his books. One is a Happier. One is called Perfectionism. So Happier is the book where he described this upward spiral concept. Upward spiral concept. Like how can you get into an upward spiral of happiness? So I'll give you an example. If you smile to a stranger at a coffee shop or at a work and start a conversation, that may lead to a new friendship, may lead to a new experiences together, and you just start an upward spiral. Just a smile can start an upward spiral. If you go on a vacation with a new friend, that can start an upward spiral, because vacation with a new friend can have a lot of experiences, a lot of conversation, and that can build into many more vacations in the future, many more experiences together. So again, vacation with a new friend can start an upward spiral. You can call a childhood friend you have not talked for years, and you can start an upward spiral. Again, talking to a friend you have not talked for 25, 30 years can start a new conversation, catch up on everything you missed out for the last 25 years. For example, I talked to one of my close friends from medical school. His name is Hemant Panchal. We did not talk to each other for 25 years, 30 years almost. And I talked to him just 4 years ago on the phone. And now we are together a few times a year. We have taken multiple vacations. And that has started an upward spiral for me. And that has brought more joy, more happiness in my life. So again, start an upward spiral. That brings to a great philosopher, great Stoic philosopher. We'll talk about that in a second. Seneca learned how to feel joy. And that brings to our next slide, next segment. It says that read and learn various philosophies. Again, philosophies are written to teach us. The main goal, main aim of most philosophies is to be happy. The ultimate currency, like I started my talk, ultimate currency, ultimate why, where the why question ends, and that's happiness. So again, all philosophies in general, whether it's Greek philosophy, Roman philosophy, Stoic philosophy, Christian philosophy, Hindu, Islamic philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, all those philosophies, the ultimate aim is to make a person happy. So I highly recommend Stoicism. I have a video on Stoicism about an hour long on our YouTube channel. Please watch that video. In my opinion, best way to live a good life is to follow Stoic principles. So what are the Stoic principles? Stoic philosophy is an ancient philosophy, almost about 2,400 year old, started by Zeno. Like I said, we have a great YouTube video on Stoicism. Watch that video. And essentially, the key concept in Stoic philosophy is to knowing which things are under our control and not under our control. If you know just one principle of Stoic philosophy, you will have very high chance of happiness. Again, knowing things are under our control, which is typically our thinking, our actions, our habits, our judgments. And things which are not under our control, for example, our house, our car, our job, our money, those things are not under our control. Also, thinking in a larger perspective is very important. Anger management also has been described in ancient philosophy, Stoicism very well. People who are angry typically are not very happy. And then living by different virtues, there are four important virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. So again, living by those virtues gives you higher chance of happiness. Many psychological counseling methods actually are derived from Stoicism, like logotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. All those things, matter of fact, came from Stoic philosophy. And to me, Stoicism or Stoic philosophy has a great tools to be happy. I highly recommend all of you to watch videos on YouTube about Stoic philosophy. Watch my video on Stoic philosophy, and see what you think of this Stoic philosophy. It's a great book suggestion to all of you. It's called Handbook of New Stoics, a handbook of new Stoics, how to thrive in a world out of control, 52 week by week lessons, 52 week by week lessons. It's by Massimo Pigliucci, a great book. I follow that book, and I have a great talk from that book also. And that concludes our current segment. This is the reflection of this segment. When will you take your signature strength test? Again, we went through the signature strength, VIA, signature strength. Go online and take your signature strength test. Next question is, how can you start an upward spiral? How can you start an upward spiral? And my next question is, have you heard about Stoicism? Have you heard about Stoicism? And please watch my video on YouTube on Stoicism, Healthy Living with Dr. Aajay Shah on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. That video summarizes everything about Stoicism in about an hour. That concludes our current segment. Again, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram. Subscribe to all social media. Please invite your friends and family. And we post every day, essentially 5 to 6 times, different health tips, different tips on healthy living, on physical health, mental health, spiritual health. So I can assure you, I take a lot of efforts. I spend a lot of time. I have a great social media person, Hannah. She helps me every day. So again, please like us on all different social media. Thank you.